The crypto news, but crypto is typically pretty dependent on the traditional financial market. And Trump recently announced something that will scare a lot of folks in the markets, which is why I believe markets are currently struggling as of today. Let's go ahead and have a listen.
We're on time with the tariffs, and it seems like that's moving along very rapidly. We've been mistreated very badly by many countries, not just Canada and Mexico. We've been taken advantage of. We were led by, in some cases, fools, because anybody that would sign documents like they signed, where they were able to take advantage of the American people, like has happened over the last long period of time, except for a little 4-year period that took place 4 years ago. But anybody that would agree to allow this to happen to our country should be ashamed of themselves. No, the tariffs are going forward on time, on schedule. This is an abuse that took place for many, many years. And I'm not even blaming the other countries that did this. I blame our leadership for allowing it to happen. I mean, you know, who can blame them if they made these great deals with the United States, took advantage of the United States on manufacturing, on just about everything. Every aspect that you can imagine, they took advantage of. I look at some of these agreements, I'd read them at night, and I'd say, who would ever sign a thing like this? So the tariffs will go forward, yes, and we're going to make up a lot of territory. All we want is reciprocal. We want reciprocity. We want to have the same. So if somebody charges us, we charge them. It's very simple, but it'll be very good for our country. Our country will be extremely liquid and rich again.
And it's not just that, as Lazarus Group, a North Korean hacking group, probably one that you've already heard some news about, stole about $1.5 billion in the largest hack in history from Bybit. And yes, Bybit has already got the money back, not directly from them, but has taken on loans in order to secure their exchange and make sure there's not a bank run and try to stabilize markets. However, things aren't looking too good, as these guys are actually really good at social engineering and obviously hacking. They pulled off the largest heist in history and have consistently been moving that Ethereum through all sorts of rotators, through different exchanges and then blockchains, and then figuring out ways to launder the money so you can't track it on chain, and then pause the Ethereum chain, which would truly mean that it's not totally decentralized. At which point people would argue that is a major issue with Ethereum, and this is causing a lot of panic in the markets. To combine that with tariffs, and then combine that with the meme coin craze that has consistently been sucking liquidity out of the market, when you have players like Dave Portnoy also launching meme coin after meme coin after meme coin and just rugging everyone. Markets have absolutely had it. And yes, even good cryptos like XRP are apparently in price manipulation, which is on overdrive, according to many people online. They believe and have seen massive sell walls, coordinated suppression, and ultimately this is to scare you out of your bags. This is to get you to sell your crypto bag at a discount before the major rally occurs. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of the futures trading data to see where the average day trader on leverage is placing their positions. And as you can see directly on Binance, the Bitcoin pair, from a daily time frame, the majority of people are actually short or selling the market. And you can see it based on this big old cliff and green line. You see how much bigger this side is relative to this side? This means that all of these people would be liquidated if the price goes up, which means they are essentially short. It is counterintuitive because it looks green. However, I'm going to go ahead and scroll down, and as you can see here, we have the XRP. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Binance, OKX, and Bybit and focus solely on the green line and the red line. And so if the price dumps to 201, you can see that only $40 million of traders will be liquidated, whereas on the short side, $410 million will be liquidated. We have a 10x cliff if the price hits $2.77. So the majority of traders right now are short, and that's what's caused the market to dump. You could argue maybe it's not more traders, maybe it's whales. We'd actually have to look at that data, but since you and I don't have access to that data, all we know is that bigger players with a lot of money, $410 million worth, are shorting the crap out of XRP, which leads me to believe they want the price to dump while they accumulate. So we're going to go ahead and look at accumulation right now on Bitcoin and XRP to see if we can get a better picture. And so first we have Bitcoin. And as you can see here, back on March 13th of 2024, Bitcoin hit its all-time high of $73,000 before rallying all the way up to about $107,000 to $109,000, depending on the exchange and how you read the daily chart. But ultimately, since that point in time, there's been less and less and less Bitcoin available on exchanges. And that's denoted by this purple line. The more that it declines, the more that you see that there's institutional demand and people ripping it off exchanges to hold it on cold storage wallets, whether it's with a custodian or with themselves for the long term. So even on this dump, you can see that more and more Bitcoin is leaving exchanges, and we are essentially at new lows for the year, which leads me to believe that they're spending a lot of money shorting the crap out of the market while they get the price down, buy up your bags, and then withdraw it from exchanges because they know what's coming. Yes, they want to buy at a discount. Yes, they want you to sell their bags. And this chart proves it to me right now. And it looks like the same is true for XRP. Up here we have the all-time high of 340, and you can see since that point in time, more and more people were depositing XRP onto exchanges, sold into that high right here, and then what they did was started to accumulate, and they accumulated and accumulated, and they've continued to accumulate, which is why this purple line is continuing to decline and remain flat. So yes, they are not actually selling their bags or depositing onto exchanges. If anything, they're actually using leverage in the futures market to make the market crash, while you and I sell our bags to them at a discount and then withdraw, but it doesn't look like they're actually depositing these cryptos onto the exchanges in order to sell. And so I would argue, yes, there is some manipulation, but that's just a natural response of the market. This is exactly how markets work, even in the big leagues. So to me, it's not shocking or surprising, but what were those major events that we talked about earlier, especially the Lazarus group, which has caused a lot of panic. But I would have argued that that would have actually made the market sell off a lot harder than they normally would, especially in a bear market. So in a bull market, as long as we hold our ranges, things are actually looking a lot better than I would have expected.